New Artist Spotlight Podcast.
Welcome everybody to a very special episode of the New Artist Spotlight Podcast.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We back. First episode of 2023. It's good to be back in the chairs. Wilko, how you been?
I've been good, man. Yeah, I've been enjoying myself. We're only 8 days into the new year when we're recording this. Yeah, I've quit smoking, vaping. I've quit the alcohol. I'm on the fitness vibe. Yeah, how are you?
Man, I'm good, dude. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I've been got back on the running. Took a little break for the holidays. Family's been good. Just making money wherever I can. Trying to build for the future. That's what I've been focusing on a lot lately.
Keep doing it, man. It's not easy in the music game. You need all the cash behind it that you can get.
Dude, somebody asked me at my job one day. They were playing my music at the office, and one of the ladies that cleans the office, she's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I have to do this to pay for what I like to do."
Yeah, that's it, man. I think it's a side hustle for most of us, and I was saying this to someone the other day. It was someone who reviewed one of my tracks, and they were saying like how they really enjoy independent artists a lot more. And I was saying, yeah, it's cool because it means so much to us. Like a lot of us are working full-time jobs and 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just doing what we can. And this is all like side hustle stuff, and we're putting our all into this. Whereas, a lot of big musicians and in record deals and labels, they've got all the time in the world to write songs. A lot of them aren't writing their own songs. A lot of them aren't having to go through the same processes of us just to get it out there and get it on Spotify and this, that, and the other. It's an easier life for them, but we're doing the difficult bits and we're getting the music out, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we have to pay dues. It seems like we've been having to pay dues a lot longer than a lot of other artists. And a lot of indie artists get there, then you get the few that just kind of at 16 blow up overnight, and they're just like, how? Like, I've been doing this for years, not hating or nothing like that, but just like, man, like that's amazing. At 16, and like when I was 16, I wanted this so bad, and I'm 25, and I'm still working. But everybody has their own path, their own journeys. You feel me? So.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I'm 34, and I still feel like I'm just beginning. And I'll shout at this point. I feel like it's right to shout out to our dogs as well, because Ed Eagle, I think he's about like 64, 65 years old.
70.
Yeah. But they released an awesome song this week. What's it called, man? Little Pocket. I need to get this right because otherwise.
We need to look this
It's
up.
straight in my library. It's straight in my library. I'll tell you that. I can show. Yeah, it is Little Pocket. Yeah, see it there. It's right next to mine. Yeah, it's starting late. It's good. We've had a few on here who started late, and it's open to us all. Very catchy tune, that.
Yeah, I mean, we have people from everywhere in the world, but every age as well, like every stage of their career. Like some people who've already had like more success than most people in the group who are still a part of the group, and some people who are like literally just starting off, and it's their first venture, and they just came across NAS, and like it's good for them because they have the resources that we wish we had when we started off, and we had to put in work, and then eventually NAS was born, and then we were like, oh yeah, let's do this. But
yeah, man, we all stumbled across it somehow. So I'll explain why this is a special episode, because I started with saying it's a special episode. So it's basically a special episode because we were meant to have a guest on who hasn't turned up. We've got a no-show, so it's just gonna be me and you chewing the fat, talking a bit about New Artist Spotlight and what we're up to, because we both got plenty on. So 2023 has started, man. Tell us a bit about your own direction now, and how did 2022 go? Because it was a year where you had a bit of a break, really, didn't you? Have you got any plans to sort of revamp that, and how's it all going?
Oh man, so Well, I guess I'll start with 2022, right? Because we already, that's done. We know what happened. A lot less speculative. So 2022 was a good year. I mean, even without, I think I maybe recorded like one song like as a feature or something like that. You were on it. So there's that. But
Yeah, shout
besides,
out Mercury Teardrop.
yes, sir. But yeah, like besides that, I think maybe I had like one other song that was recorded pre 2022 come out. And even still, I had like a really good year. Like I'm pretty sure in most categories, my stats were up this year from last year, right? And so there's growth even without me necessarily having put in the time and time specifically at that during last year. Like I was pushing for playlists and stuff like that on different websites, but I wasn't like generating new content. I was even like TikTok, I was using what I put out in 2021 and trying to use that for 2022 content. And, whatever worked or didn't work, it was still just off the back of the work I put in before. So it's 2022, I think I would take it as a success. Obviously, I took the time off for family. We had a son in March. I told my wife I'd take a year off to kind of get into the swing of parenthood and kind of understand like what's going on, like what do I need to contribute, like how to balance the time and everything like that. And so far it's been no time to balance. This is all baby, working and baby. But yeah, so I guess that means 2023, that year's up. And we got to see where we're going from there. This morning I was actually thinking about this before we even kind of had this conversation, but kind of just the direction that when I do kind of get back into things, like where I want to go. And I'd actually watched a TED talk sometime this week, and it was talking about how like the best brands or the most popular brands kind of communicate, right? And as artists, branding is such a big part of what we do because we need people to listen to us and connect to us and want to, buy into who we are and what we're doing. So the guy said he calls it the golden circle, right? It's basically 3 concentric circles, and it's why, how, and what, right? And they say the way most people try to sell things or try to, let's just say sell things, they start off with the what, they go to the how, and then they end with the why, right? But they say the brands that are the most effective and that are the best at selling people things start with the why, then they go to the how, and they end with the what, right? So the example they gave was Apple, right? Now, Apple is a computer company. That's what they do. They make computers, right? So like, why would you buy a MP3 player from a computer company, right? Obviously, people bought iPods, and they were potentially more famous than just regular MP3 players from other brands that may have only sold MP3 players, right? But they said Apple starts off with the why, right? For them, they could advertise something to you like, we're always at the forefront of cutting edge technology, and and this is no different. And that's the why. And then the how is we develop the most innovative products to make your life the easiest and give you the entertainment you deserve. And then the what is the new iPod 2.0, blah, 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 blah. And starting off with the why, people get interested. That's like the hook. Versus when you say, hey, I have a new iPod. It works really well. You should buy it and listen to it because it's a really good piece of equipment. Like the first is more convincing than the second. And so as an artist, as a rapper, I'm thinking in my head, what is my brand? What do I hope to achieve? And and things like that. And I basically came up with the definition of what it would be to be considered as one of the greatest of all time, right? So as a rapper, depending on the type of rapper you pride yourself on being, right? Like you could think being the most lyrical rapper makes you the best rapper of all time. I would say it makes you the best lyricist of all time, right? Or having the most catchy song makes you the best rap artist of all time. I think it just makes you the best catchy songwriter of all time. When you take both of those things and you mix it in with having a genuine connection to the listener and being authentic, I think once you can do all those things, you can make the catchy song that includes the technical skill set, and you can be authentic and connect and be who you are. Then I think that's what puts you in that conversation of the greatest of all time. It's not just one or two, it's all of them combined, right? And so for me, wanting to be the greatest of all time, I think the technical thing has always been there. The catchy, the song, the musicianship of it needed a lot of work and has come a long way. And then my core message as an artist and as who I am has always been to be unique and to be authentic and just be original. So
the OG.
Yes, sir. So that's I feel like I have a more defined focus than ever. And so now it just comes time to put the music together and come up with, if I start working on another project, what's this core message going to be, right? And then start building outward from there. Start with the why, why am I creating this body of work? And then how am I going to get there? And then here's what it is, please enjoy, So exact dates, I don't know. But there's a passion, there's a motivation there that's always there, right? And as hard as some of us try, we give up and we quit and we can never kill it and we always end up coming back. And I don't think that's going to change. So I think it'll.
Do you think that, like you're saying that, like, even though you've taken quite a lot of time off and your numbers have grown, I was looking recently at some artists who used to be in New Artist Spotlight and had pretty big numbers. And then I noticed that their numbers have massively dropped off since leaving New Artist Spotlight. Do you think that sort of keeping in New Artist Spotlight, do you think that's really helped? I mean, it probably has, I imagine, with your numbers and stuff like that, but also like, I don't know, do you think it's been great? Like, it seems like it's been great that you've got this resource where you can just take a little bit of time out and you don't need to be constantly releasing new music like a lot of these influencers and a lot of resources will tell you, you need to be releasing a song every 6 weeks or you need to be doing this, that and the other. What's your experience of that and how do you think New Artist Spotlight's helped?
Well, I mean, New Artist Spotlight has been a great help, right? Because there is always somebody consistently listening, right? And I do actually mean somebody listening, not like somebody's playing your music. Somebody's actually listening, right? So we get new members in all the time, right? And like I'll even admit, like I've been so busy with parenthood and with working outside of work and everything that I haven't been super active. But I get on Twitter and see I have a notification from an artist who is new to the community, who I'm not familiar with yet, and I'm that person's New Artist Thursday pick, right? And I'm like, oh snap, like, I don't know who this guy is. I got to go check this guy out now. But somebody's listening to my music, right? Because for me to not even be that active, for me to not be that visible in the community right now, and then people who don't know me or know of me or know what roles I hold, whatever, for them to be like, oh yeah, this person's music is so good. I'm gonna promote it for them for free, So just having the exposure to an ever growing, ever changing, ever evolving community like that even if somebody leaves, right? Like if they've made contact with your music and your music has touched them or affected them, like that music still in their library, it's still on their mind, right? So like even like the artists you're speaking of, right? They may not be in New Artist Spotlight, but the connections they made from New Artist Spotlight will still exist, right? People still probably follow them, still probably support them on social media, all in maybe in real life, you know, depends on who they know. But so having that, right, is great. And like and then also not just having one resource, right? So like I'm in New Artist Spotlight, but I'm also in like I'm a moderator in more than one artist support group, right? So it's about having a support system you can rely on, but also having reach and building that network and that community around you, right? So and then I'm still pitching from time to time, not as much as I would before, especially when I was putting out a song a month, right? But yeah, so New Artist Spotlight definitely helps, because when it's something like that that attracts so many people daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, and it's constantly changing and new people are constantly being exposed to you and what you do, like that resource is invaluable, right? Even if the number of people never changed, say there were 500 people in New Artist Spotlight, right? And 50 people left and 50 people came in, that's still 550 people now who know and who have heard you, and 10 people, even 10 more people come in, it's 560. And it continues to grow as long, even if the numbers aren't growing, if the people are who've been through this community are growing and you're a part of it, it's always going to continue to help you and grow you. And I feel like that outweighs any of the potential drawbacks that somebody might say, well, I don't want to do this because whatever, you know, reason they may come up with, it's not really have any drawbacks to New Artist Spotlight. But if there was one, I feel like that type of benefit greatly outweighs, you know, whatever that little thing is, right? Like it takes a little bit of work, right? You gotta listen to other people, right? You gotta actually be there to support. You can't just leech. But
I think that's great, man. It's perfect. Like it's the way it's set up. Yeah, it means we're all going to be successful together, doesn't it? Because you know, you only get the people who are serious about like promoting each other and listening to each other's music. And like I've got a lot of my library is songs I've discovered through New Artist Spotlight. I listen to it while I'm working. I listen to it in the car, and it's like there's always songs where I'm like, wow, who's this? And then I'll end up looking through someone's back catalogue. There was one I was actually like, and this is another thing, you like make friends from it. Like Odzo, Mr. Odzo was messaging me yesterday about need to get this guy's name right. It's Mal. What's his name? I listened to his album earlier on. It was really good. Mal Fantôme. He's an indie artist, and yeah, because I released a song yesterday. And Odzo messaged me and he said, I really like the bass on your song. And he's like, another guy who does really big bass on his songs is Mal. So I listened to his album and I was like, yeah, and some of his songs went straight in my library. And it just takes you on this journey, like, of listening to so much new music. And I love it, man. And like you say, it's a how and the why is like, because I know these guys, like if they're releasing a song, and I already know their face and their name and their voice and their back catalogue, I'm going to listen to whatever song they're releasing. And if they pop up on a collab with somebody else from NAS, I'm genuinely excited about that, because I've seen these guys develop, and it's like, yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. And I mean, dude, we've been here for a while, right? So we've seen New Artist Spotlight from its early days, where there was a lot of growth that needed to happen for artists individually, for the community as a whole. And I feel like, you know, with us accepting everybody at any stage, right? Like people come in like really, really rough around the edges, but having so many people around them that are constantly putting out good music or growing and getting better, and they're growing and getting better, and now they're making these connections and they're working together. Like, dude, whenever anybody collaborates with like motion sickness, right? It's like, yeah, that's what they needed. That's what they needed. And just seeing that type of camaraderie, right? Like, because it could be somebody whose issue isn't necessarily the music. It could be they don't know how to mix, right? And that's where they're struggling. And so if you're a really talented singer and you're still learning how to mix, but then you go work with somebody like motion sickness, and now you got a professional sounding song that actually displays your talent very well, right? Like where do you find that at? Where else do you get that at?
Yeah, man. And you can like, and I talk about myself here because that's where I've gone from, like ripping beats off YouTube and writing some lyrics and trying to mix them and doing a really bad job, or just trying to find somebody who could produce music, like, was a nightmare, and I didn't know what I was doing. And then from that, finding New Artist Spotlight, and now I've got to the point where, Trapped in My Mind, that I released yesterday, it was fully self-produced. I mixed and mastered it myself. And Charles Connolly's texted me asking me if Andres Guazzelli had mixed it, which was the biggest compliment I could get, because I was like, yeah, I was really happy with that.
Good, right?
Yeah, it felt really good. And it was the first, my main success from yesterday was just that when I listened to it on Spotify, it sounded the same as when I listened to it at home through my studio monitors, because the couple of tracks I released before that were self-produced, Muck on the Wall and Cluedo, I listened to both of them. They kind of dampened little bits, and there was bits that didn't sound exactly how I wanted it to sound, or it sounded better on my phone, through the car speakers than it did when it was on Spotify. Like the file on my phone sounded better.
Yeah, because they limit it and they do stuff to make it.
Yeah, so I think I've cracked that now.
Else.
But I wouldn't have been able to do that without working with Andres on my album. And I've worked with Charles Connolly on How the Story Begins, with Mercury Teardrop and yourself. I've got 2 secret NAS collabs that I've recorded a verse for.
Oh snap!
I don't know when they're coming out. Sometime this year.
You know where you are right now, right? This is the New Artist Spotlight podcast. This is the place where we drop exclusives, man. Come on, man.
I can't do that, man. I can't do that because it's somebody else's IP. It's their secret. I'm just featuring. I've got my I've got my £2 million from those features in the bank. So
can I guess at it, man?
You can have a guess, man. You can have a guess.
I don't know. I know it would be interesting, so I'm just gonna throw out there. E01 melody.
No, it's not. It's not. That would be good, man. I'd love to jump on with him. He introduced me to NAS in the first place, so that'd be awesome. I'd love to do that, but no. And a lot of people keep telling me that I need to jump on with Odzo, which I'd love to do, but it's not.
He likes the bass in your music, man. I feel like that was him reaching out and trying.
I love his music, man. I really like a lot of his tracks. And I like the guy he has on his tracks as well, Todd Taylor. I don't think he's and he's a Benny something, I think, as well. I can't remember his name, but I like the collabs that Otto does. I really want to get on one. And he actually sent me a beat a while ago, and it was a really nice beat. I'm looking forward to hearing the actual final version whenever it comes out, because he got like 2 or 3 different rappers on there, and I was like, yeah, I really like this beat. Like, let me get on it. But then the other rappers basically got there first, and I wasn't quick enough, and I lost my chance because the song was full by the time I got around to it.
That's why songs have remixes.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. I want to get on. But yeah, like these, it's cool, man. And I know there's other artists who've contacted me, and I want to work with as many as I can, to be honest. But it's all just like, depends where I am as well, like in what I'm doing, whether I've got my head buried in something else or whether I've got a little bit of time to write a verse and change my sort of priority at that time.
Whether you're trapped in your mind.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like one of the collabs that I recorded a verse a few weeks ago, it came at a good point because I'd just finished Trapped in My Mind. I'd finished the video. Like the day I'd finished the video, this guy from NAS messaged me and says, I've got this track. What do you think? Could you lay down a verse? I listened to it. I was like, yes, I can definitely hear myself on this. And I just wrote it there and then. And it was a perfect time. But then there's other times when people have messaged me and I'm like, you know, I've got to finish this next thing before I can. It's all just timing, isn't it? It's a strange thing, the music life. Like, I love it though. You never quite know. I love seeing it. I love building my own legacy through looking at my own singles, and I love seeing everybody else build their catalogs. It's such a cool thing with NAS. Like, and we're lucky, aren't we? Like to be able to meet them all.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very unique position that we're both in, right? We don't necessarily, we're not like the gatekeepers or anything like that, but I mean, in a sense, we're a milestone in anybody that comes through here. Path in NAS, and then and like you said, we get to talk to everybody, and we get to find out who they are, like as people and as artists, right? You get to have actual, like, you know, genuine conversations with them, and we get to know people better than necessarily the people and in the chat. Just, you know, from messages, we get face to face and have real conversations. Unless you're Cheyenne Reagan, and then you know, it builds a deeper.
We needed space, man. We needed space. And speaking of which, didn't you you met Blues Trainer? You met Virginia from Blues Trainer, didn't you? How was that?
That was cool, man. Virginia's awesome. So, like, I can't really say enough good things about Virginia, to be honest with you. Like, she's dope. She sent my kid a gift before he was born, or either right after he was born. He sleeps with she bought a little sound machine for him. He sleeps with it every night.
That's so nice.
She's dope. She did the 5K, the San Antonio Heart Walk. We talked about some bad music. We had some laughs, caught up. She's a really, really cool person. She's also, I think she's giving the entire Crxss family some items that are going to be displayed to the community going forward.
That's exciting, man. Some top secret
spoilers if we haven't talked about it yet. I don't know.
Well, I've seen some of it. I think that's okay. I think we can say that it's New Ice Spotlight merch, because I think Coastal Town and somebody else was spotted in there. Who was it? I saw somebody showing off their NAS t-shirts that were like posted in the chats.
And then I have a question. What does it mean when you say my adrenaline's crashed like Sunderland after Peter Reed? What does that mean? I don't get the reference.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man, for all my obscure English references. Sunderland are a football team. They are the rivals of my football team, Newcastle United. Peter Reid was the manager of Sunderland when they did quite well for a while. Then he left and they crashed down the leagues. So my adrenaline's crashed like Sunderland after Peter Reid. So they crashed down the leagues. A bit of a stab at Sunderland. Also, the Sunderland is the team of Sano Hill, NAS artist. And yeah, just listening to you then talking about meeting people as well. Like, I've got this idea in my head. I want to have a UK NAS meet. So we've got like Eleanor Collides, Charles Connolly, Charlie Smith, Bacchanal. They're all down south. I'm up north. There's more. Again, I sometimes I hate naming people because I know I'll always miss people out.
I can think of one right now. Yeah.
Go on.
I don't want to be wrong.
Who?
Pascalians.
They are English, but they're in Brazil. Liz is English. Liz is English. Yeah.
I didn't know if she was in Brazil or.
Yeah, she lives in Brazil, and her mum's actually moved to Brazil now to live with her as well.
It's still a UK thing, though. I mean,
yeah, it's quite a long way though to fly her over, but if she'd be up for it, we'd love to have her. Yeah, I can't think of who else, but I mean, maybe I'll have to go down to London or something to make this happen. Or I can drag them all up north because they've probably never been north of London. They've never seen the real England.
You always say that. You always say the real England versus anywhere else in England.
They need to come to Yorkshire. It's the greatest place, man. It's proper England. They don't know what it's like. They think England's all, city life, and there's actually like hills and countryside and nice views, big lakes and all sorts up here. This is what they need.
And bad weather and bad food, and
yeah, that's true, man. It's true.
What I wanted to ask you about is you asked me earlier what I had coming down the line, and you just dropped the song yesterday, as we talked about. But I mean, what else is happening for you in 2023?
I'm doing a lot, man. I've got some. I've got a project coming up. It's not fully announced yet, but it's confirmed. But I'll be doing some rap workshops in the area for free. So I'll be getting kids, teaching them how to rap, teaching them how to do some like creative writing. I want to teach them like how to use free apps like BandLab and GarageBand and stuff like that. I want to it's going to be a community-led project. Everything's
free if you can find it on the internet.
Yeah, man, exactly. And I want to, in the 3 years that I've learned stuff through being an artist and through NAS and all the rest of it, I've learned a lot, and I want to be able to pass that on to people a lot younger than me so that they know that being an artist isn't a pipe dream and it's something that they can achieve, it's something that they can do, and that they can flex their own imagination and, creativity and enjoy it. Because it took me far too long to do that, man. I didn't start until I was like late 20s, and now I'm loving it, and it's the way it had to be. But at the same time, I want to inspire some of the next generation, and I want to inspire them to use their voices for positive change, like get away from sort of negative stereotypes of rap and show that it's like it can be a force for good. And so that's going to be a main focus. I've got a couple of things. I'm working on a song at the moment, which is going to be my longest song to date. It's about 5.5 minutes long. I've just finished cleaning up all the recording and stuff. It's about to enter the mix stage. I'm kind of looking forward to that, but at the same time, it's slow going because I'm not getting a lot of time to work on it. But I won't be releasing another album or anything like that anytime soon. I might just release. I've had 4 singles a year so far. I want to try and keep that up. I've got 1 in the bank already for January. That's what I could have released it in December if I wanted, but I thought, no, I'm gonna keep this pattern going, release it January, and then I've got all year to do the next 3.
Song a quarter.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Depends when the inspiration strikes and stuff as well, doesn't it? And when I can. Yeah, I don't know, man. I try not to plan too far ahead. I can't say I've got a big plan for. And even with the rap workshops thing, I want that to be like community led, so I can have all these ideas in my head, but if the kids want something different, I want to tailor it to what they want. They might want a bit of beatboxing, or they might want to learn how to make videos or whatever it may be. I want to kind of make it a bit of a program and get some, I don't know yet, man. This is it. I'm going to work with some local organizations and charities and stuff like that, and schools and whatever. And I'm going to try and work out what's the need and then try and work out how to fill that need. But I know that I want to start giving back. And I what's the point where I'm sick of the sound of my own voice sometimes. In fact, that's one of my lyrics trapped in my mind. I want to share my experience to help others, really, rather than it just be about myself. And I'm sick of like self-promoting sometimes. I'm sure you know how it's like I don't really enjoy constantly like putting my name out and asking people to listen to my songs and share my stuff and stuff like that. And I'd rather help other people with more sort of passion for that side of it to be able to make their own vision.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. That's, I feel like that's what people should do, right? Like any type of giving is really like commendable in my eyes, right? So I mean, people always talk about giving. They talk about giving money, right? But time, knowledge, skills, like any type of giving is really, really impactful, right? Sometimes other types of giving are more impactful than money. So I mean, that's a dope thing that you're doing, especially trying to
Thanks,
bring
man.
positivity into rap and into honestly in a way into a generation, right? Because a lot of people now, especially people who are interested in rap, think that some of the negative stuff is cooler than other stuff, and then peer pressure or just this is what I have to do to achieve this thing, so I have to fit this image and stuff like that. And when that's not the case at all. So showing them a different way and leading them to a better direction, and hopefully, it's like Tupac said, I may not change the world, but I might spark the mind that will, right?
I love that, man. Yeah, it's a great quote, that. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and thank you for asking me about that as well, as because, well, you actually just asked me what I was up to and I started talking about it, but I do actually appreciate the opportunity to say that out loud because I've not really vocalized that yet. But it's all been being planned, like, on the computer screen and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to clip that out and put it on my Instagram and say, here's what I'm doing and who wants to get involved. That's easier. So I was wondering how I was going to do that.
It's what you call multi-platform content right there. You just take this long-form content, chop it up, put it everywhere else. There you go. Your job is got a little bit easier.
Yeah, man, that's the way to do it. Right, well, we're almost out of time, man. So we won't do the quick 5-5 with each other because we've just done that for the whole of 2023.
And I definitely understand you being afraid of 5 unknown questions because you
it's
always
too
get
dastardly,
questions
man.
before anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. It's too devilish. Yeah, I can't be doing that, man. But no, it's been nice chatting to you, man. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what 2023 brings for both of us and for everybody else in the New Ice Spotlight community as well.
Yes, sir. Bill, always a good time catching up with you and talking to you. For everybody in New Artist Spotlight, just keep going, right? Just keep working, build the connections, build the network, and should reach out to people who like their music, reach out to them, advice or collaborations, but continue to grow, continue to build, and just keep going. If this is what you're passionate about, don't give up.
Yeah, man, that's great words, and no pressure on anybody as well. Don't feel like I have to constantly produce, and we're all in it together. It's all art.
You write the song, you record the song, you mix the song, you put the song out. Otherwise, you outgrow the song, and the song will never see the light of day.
Yeah, so exactly. That's the main thing. Finish it. Yeah. Finish it.
Put it out.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. And we'll hear it all. I look forward to it.
Yes, sir. Peace out.
Peace out.
New Artist Spotlight.